Yo, what's up, everybody? I hope you're having a good Tuesday. We are gonna have a fun show today, lots to get into, and really looking forward to the discussion with the OG crew. But before we start, obviously, we got to do our roll call. So jump into chat wherever you're watching and say hello. And then at 4 o'clock, top of the 4 o'clock hour, we'll roll the intro and officially get this show underway. Q-Boys, good to see you, Selbor. MAGA for life. Great to see all you guys hanging out over on D Live. Drunk Pinata just started hosting, so that means he's finishing up over there. We should be expecting him up on the panel momentarily. Shout out to our friends on Rumble. Hit that thumbs up button for us over there, guys. Thank you so much. Joe Elaine modding the chat and Corey Chemo hanging out over there, getting us started. Good to see you all. And then, of course, pill.net. That's really the place to be. That's where the chat is at. That's where only place to watch hour number 2 of our broadcast as we go exclusively to the home of free speech. Pilled, how we doing? Pop in, say hello, and let's see who's over there. Scrolling up to the tippy top, I see Floyd Due Diligence. What's up, my friend? Delia down there in Arizona. Patriot 714. Good to see you. Joe Elaine doing her mod thing. Joe, thank you again for all you do. We love you so much. HL Paco in the house. Good to see you, Paco. And we got lots of other friends popping in. Ken Chris, what's up, dude? Floyd with a Taco Tuesday cookie. Thank you, sir. Ken Chris with a THC cookie for the bones. Delicious. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the early support as always. Lance, how you doing, man? Good to see you, Lightsphere. Hope you're having an awesome day. Our Harold in the house. What's up, Harold? Pip's mom checking in from across the pond. You know where. Wales, UK. Shout out to all of our patriots abroad tuning in from across the globe here. It's good to be with you all. Barb Robbins in the house. What's up, Barb? Mad Joker, Truth Teller 101. Good to see you guys out there kicking it with us on this Tuesday afternoon. Molan Labe, Kaiman checking in from South Africa. What's up, dude? Snow Bunny 68, great to see you. We got Mr. Gerardo out there. Good afternoon, sir. Cynthia, Don Ritchie, Miss Fortune, Dread Quarters, Dangleberry, Tweety 52, Disappointed Mom. Good to see you guys. Starwalker 77 in the house as well. D. Richard, great to see you. Paul Thaddeus out there. Fazik, Jenker 2. What's up, guys? Good to see the fam all checking in. What's up, Lucy Anders? How you doing today? Eagle Freedom in the house. Sherry Pittsburgh repping the 412. Let's go, Sherry. Thank you for the cookie. Matrix Codebreaker says happy Taco Tuesday, Adel. Much love. Much love to you, Matrix. Thank you for the early gold pill support. Greatly appreciated. Rig Boots, what's going on? Patriot of 5, welcome. Biatch, always in Texas. Spaz, what's up, Spazzo Yeti? How you doing, bud? Great to see you. Willow Lady 6 out there. Filter Dog 1, what's up, brother? Trump Red Pill 1, and we got Born Deplorable. Liana Wilbert, what's going on, Liana? Hope you're having an awesome day. Sergeant Peterson, CK Whitehorse 180. Good to see you out there, Mix Picks. And my name is D. Secret Weapon, Crockett Man 62, Patriot Drummer, Stacks. You saw it here. Someone was shot at the RNC for an attempt on Trump. Dude, shit is popping off right now. I didn't see that, but I'm sure more and more will come out. Timber Jet, good to see you. Oz Stoneburner. Paul Skeens, say his name, Adel. Say his name. Yeah, he's starting the All-Star game tonight. I can't wait to see what he does. It's must-watch TV. At least for me, it is. Clover Lily, what's going on? Good to see you. Stacks, Boys Blonde, thank you for the cookies. Says lights, camera, action. How's everyone behaving in the green room there, Boys Blanc? Everyone behaving themselves out there. Tweak, Tweak's gifting bronze tier subscriptions. Thank you, Tweak. We'll count them up in a second. Lil Doll, good to see us. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1-tier subscriptions gifted. Thank you, Tweak. I really appreciate that. Mad Hat 1, No Me For You. Mez out there. Awake Russell, Corey, Chemo, Glass, Wanda. Thumper, Rose, hey, Curious One, Lyle, Jenny, Packers 412. How we doing today, guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. CB Joey checking in from Florida. Thank you for the phones. Let's fucking go, bros. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Michelle Shell out there. Fixin' time. Ellie Freedom in the house. Thong Chaser. And thank you for the cookie, Thong Chaser. Appreciate that very, very much. 8088Y Digital. Idaho Vet. Bitter Midget. Good to see you guys. Chops, ITMC, Jazz Bar 73, and who else? Zedanon, thank you for the shades. Much, much appreciated. Dwayna, Q of Lurks out there. Too Quick, Braze Piano, great to see you. Thank you for the cookie. Jennifer Guskin, welcome. And CK Whitehorse 180 dropping a cookie as well. Lots of pre-show gold pill love. Thank you guys so much. Harley Quinn, 369. Good to see you. My two terriers out there as well. Ozark's Freedom Girl, BP Creed. Everybody's here today. Holy, I haven't had a roll call like this in what feels like forever. How we doing, guys? It's so good to see so many of you popping in. Daily Insanity says, good afternoon, Adel. Awaiting arrival of the mystery ship. Right on. Thank you for the cookie. Shout out to Zoso Dude out there, the captain of the mystery ship. Viking Man 1996 in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Why not? Tony, how you doing, bud? I feel like it's been forever. And dropping a ship as well. Thank you, Tony. Much love, my friend. I really appreciate that. Moto Cowgirl in the house. Rye Guy for Life. Old Salty Dog. Nezercat checking in from Wyoming. Good to see you. Filter Dog 1 says the new PSYOP is Iran trying to take out Trump at RNC. Anything to take off the attention of the inside job that was the original Trump assassination. I'm sure we'll be seeing all kind of interesting narratives and bullshit from the intelligence community run Mockingbird Media. A from PA, good to see you. Water Wizard, welcome. Hey, what's up, Neo? How you doing? All right, guys. Treasure Life, good to see you. It's 4:01. It's time to start the show. Thank you guys all again so much for being here. Share the links, hit that thumbs up button, give us a red pill, repost the show. Let's get it going.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all, I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall, we're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adult hero is the power that's controlling the plight. But all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight, but I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes, just our lace in our boots. These demons all weaponized, now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the boot and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess, they want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight to the song.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right, let's go. What's up, everybody? Thank you for being here for a Tuesday installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adol Nero. It is July 16th, 2024. Riding shotgun with me today is my OG crew, Drunk Pinata and Tennessee Homesteader. They will be hanging out with me for the next couple of hours as we got lots to talk about today. TN Homesteader, happy Tuesday, sir. How are we doing today?
Happy Tuesday on the backside of 2024.
Yes, we are. It's crazy how fast time flies.
Yeah.
Summer's halfway over, which is depressing as hell. But the good news, I guess, is as summer ends, that means the election and hopefully an inauguration of a new president is on the horizon. And
Yep.
we'll
And then the fun starts.
Yeah, then the fun starts indeed. Oh man. But yeah, so glad you're here, TN. Anything else you wanna say as we open up here?
No, it's nope, nothing else to add.
Right on. All right, well, let's jump over to Drunk Pinata. Pinata, I was lurking in the background watching your show from like 3 to about 4:45 or 3:45, I should say, about 45 minutes or so. And man, like you said on the show, they are doubling down, or at least a lot of these people are. But welcome, man. How are you today?
I'm doing all right today.
Good.
Trying my first smoked meat on the grill. It's like just a brisket flat. I didn't have the guts to try a full one on the first try, so I'm just trying to keep it. So it's nice. I got like a little thing that can monitor the temperature and like graph it out and stuff. So right now I am in the middle of the I'm in the what do they call it? I'm on the plateau. So I'm hoping I'm seeing a little bit of I've already wrapped it. So I'm still on the plateau, but we're still a little early. So we'll see how I do. I'll let you guys know.
All right, right on. Takes forever when you do the smoking, I feel like, but the payoff is always pretty good. The flavor you get from it is fantastic.
Mhm.
What do you got for us today, man? We were talking pre-show a little bit. You had something you wanted to play. Well, I know what it is, but for the sake of it being a show and whatnot.
Well, they have completely doubled down, and this is your Jesse Dollemores, your Robert Reichs, and your Keith Olbermanns, to the point where I don't think that they are. I mean, they are calling and using for extermination, eradication, not of Trump anymore. They are turning to the people. And now and this is Keith Olbermann. This is like the first 5 minutes was absolutely egregious to the point where I actually reported the video to YouTube for promoting terrorism.
Well, everyone out there, hold your breath for you to take action.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It was that. I was like, holy shit. Okay, anyway, I know it doesn't really mean much. The point is that he got to a point here where he was pleading with Biden to do something. And what does he say? What is he asking? He's asking him to do something with these people. Okay, what does that mean, Keith? What does that mean?
We need to steer out of this bipartisan scam goddamned fast, President Biden, and you need to steer out of it immediately. Because I don't care now if your polls improve or they crater. You had one job in 2021, which was to remove the cancer of Trump and MAGA from this country forever. And out of foolish, but in some ways understandable naivete, you waited. And this is what you waited for. If you are not prepared to remove the cancer of Trump and MAGA from this country now, get the hell out of the White House. Get somebody a top hour ticket who is willing to do what is necessary. Because you say unity, sir, and Trump and the MAGA mob hears surrender. And if you want to surrender, go ahead. In this unwarranted deference to a would-be dictator who was shot at by his own side, you have completely misread the mood of this nation and the urgency of this crisis and the absolute non-negotiable necessity to not back down in the face of the self-fulfilling Trump prophecy of violence, but to instead redouble your efforts to rid us of the nightmare, of the cancer Trump represents. Do it or get out.
Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil!
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then also with this guy, same
Party
thing.
is over.
He's saying that the Republican Party is over, and he has this whole thing about Ronald Reagan, and then kind of goes into different things about different times and then how Trump has sort of like finished the job, and therefore there is no Republicans. They have ceased to exist. And again, another effort, and what I saw was another effort to dehumanize.
I mean, that's crazy.
What did I tell you?
Do what needs to be done, he says. Like, he's literally projecting that we're violent and like these terrible people, yet he's literally basically calling for like what, some kind of
extermination
camp,
extermination
of an entire, like, what,
you don't say get rid of, you don't say get rid of this cancer by offering them a ticket to paradise.
Yeah, that's like even crazy for Keith Olbermann. I mean, this guy has completely lost it. Completely lost it. All right.
Well, at this point, we're inciting violence and calling for an extermination of people, even though he doesn't use the word exterminate. That's probably how careful he is of the words he chose, even though all the trappings are there, right? All the drapings of what he's saying. Why isn't he under arrest? Because they claim free speech, but you can't say anything that questions the numbers on the vax, that questions the illegals coming across the border, that questions anything. But this guy can call for the extermination of 48% of the country.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
He says that while saying that Trump's words and what he wants to do is the reason why he got shot at.
Yeah, it makes.
When was Trump ever quoted or remotely insinuated getting rid of half the country?
Never.
And right. You had Biden come close at Centennial Hall. Not to say get rid of, but to isolate and vilify Trump and Trump supporters.
Yeah, it's a projection. They use projection so much. They project their own violent rhetoric onto us as if we're the ones that do it. But it's been them from the start that have been using incendiary, divisive language in their propaganda, their speeches, their political talk. It's been them this whole time, and then they turn around and accuse Donald Trump and his supporters of being the ones that do that. But again, we know projection is one of their greatest tools. They use it effectively, and that continues right up to now. So let's take care of our sponsor, and then we got a lot to get into today. We got to talk about JD Vance, the vice president choice for Donald Trump. Got to talk about Judge Aileen Cannon dismissing the documents case, and then also a lot more fallout from the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, more media reaction, more things to look at there as well. So it's going to be a jam-packed couple of hours here. Again, share the links, hit that red pill button, repost the show on Pilled. And again, just thank you guys all for being here and hanging out with us on this Tuesday afternoon. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Earth Garden Botanicals, earthgardenbotanicals.com, a company run by our friend Jolene up in Montana. She's an herbalist and a health coach, a patriot, and just a wonderful, wonderful human being. She makes these wellness products up there. The CBD and hemp products are amazing. All the ingredients for them are locally and organically grown. Check out the tinctures, the Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies, or CBD oil for pets, and an arnica salve topical cream for your sore joints and muscles. You can get that with or without CBD infused. Got elderberry tonic to help boost your immune system, fire cider to clear your sinuses, allergies are bothering you. A few swigs of this stuff can really open up those airways. Pine needle extract and the sunshine and pine needle tea are really good for detoxing. And of course, the critter juice to keep the insects and mosquitoes off of you. I swear by that stuff. It smells good. It doesn't feel oily and gross on your skin, and it's quite effective. At least in my experience, it's been very, very effective. Promo code 412 gets you 10% off everything you see here in the store. So go to earthgardenbotanicals.com. Use that promo code. Say hi to Jolene for us. She loves you guys. And yeah, big thank you to Jolene and Earth Garden for supporting the show for so long. And thank you to all you guys out there who continue to support Jolene and her company by going by and checking out the website. So we got JD Vance as the vice president pick for Donald Trump's ticket. And they had this on the gate or on the Epoch Times. 39 things to know about JD Vance. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to read off the headlines for each one of these. He's 39 years old. So 39 years old, that means he's literally half Donald Trump's age. And even younger, like less than half of the age of Joe Biden. So he brings a level of youthfulness to the position that I think will be extremely beneficial when it comes to younger voters. I feel like he'll be able to communicate with the younger generation better than anybody else on either ticket really can, at least be able to relate to them. He's a Catholic. He's married to Usha Shilakuri Vance. The couple has 3 children. He's considered a populist conservative, so he's our kind of guy. He grew up in a lower class family. He's a best-selling author. There's a movie adaptation of his book. He's experienced the decline of the Rust Belt. He grew up in Ohio, but considered rural Kentucky home. His parents divorced when he was a toddler. His original surname was Bowman. His mother suffered from substance abuse issues. He lived with his grandmother. His grandparents were Democrats. He's a Marine Corps Iraq combat vet. He has a dual undergrad degree from Ohio State University. He earned a JD from Yale Law School. He was an editor of the Yale Law Journal. He's close with Peter Thiel. He was a venture capitalist. He sponsored programs to combat drug addiction. He was a CNN contributor. He wasn't always pro-Trump. We'll talk about that. His views evolved after Trump took office. He voted for Trump in 2020. He won a tough primary in a crowded field. He was Donald Trump Jr.'s pick as far as being vice president. He's been in the Senate since January 2023. He has a conservative voting record. He has worked across the aisle on legislation. He serves on 3 Senate panels. He has a hold on all DOJ appointments. He wants abortion left to the states. He spoke in support of the 2023 United Auto Workers strike. He's critical of the Iraq war, critical of Ukraine aid, supports Israeli aid. He says U.S. focus should be on China. So there you go. Very quickly, there's this article again is on the Epoch Times if you guys want to read underneath any of those for more detail. But just a quick rundown of some things about JD Vance. So, like always, you take some time to reflect on these things, especially big news like the vice president pick. It's something that we speculated about on this show for quite a while, as far as who is JD Vance and would he be a good pick, considering who was all really being considered, right? Because I think from what we mostly heard, your front runners were Marco Rubio, Doug Burgum, Tim Scott, and JD Vance. I think that there was most likely from the establishment, the Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Fox News, end of the party. I bet there was immense pressure to select the Marco Rubio type for that position. JD Vance, and I'm going to play a clip from Tucker Carlson from what he says, is basically hated by the Republican establishment, that they've had knives aimed at his back from day one. Donald Trump, I think in this pick, while he wouldn't have been my first choice given the entire possible field, I think that this pick was a big middle finger to the Rhino end of the party and a signal that Trump 2.0 is going to take no prisoners. I'm incredibly encouraged by it. The longer I've had to think about it, he could have very easily picked the Marco Rubio, made the establishment happy, and moved on. Picking JD Vance took, I think, some courage. I think it was a pick that, and again, I'll play some clips that echo this. That says that he's trying to set up the future of the party to continue the populist, America First, nationalist mindset going forward. So while I don't think JD Vance is perfect, I see our Herald says, or not our Herald, excuse me, Donna Bo Libby says Vance is a little too supportive of Israel. I mean, there's a lot of that up and down the Republican Party. It's just one of those issues that it's hard to separate from. But all in all, considering the other likely picks, I feel like Donald Trump stayed true to his base with the JD Vance pick. And I called him the worst of the best, or the best of the worst, was kind of how I was looking at him. But I think that he's probably the best possible outcome that we could have hoped for this selection, again, given who was being seriously considered. So that's my initial thoughts. Before I get into any video clips or anything like that, I want to open it up to the panel. Guys, we've had 24 hours now to digest it. What are your thoughts on JD Vance as the pick? Good pick by Donald Trump, indifferent, wait and see. How do you guys feel about JD Vance and the message that pick sends to the Republican Party, the Republican voters, and really the country and the world in general?
Well, there's a couple of factoids that's pretty interesting. It said he's been in office since January 2023. That was his first term as a senator.
Mm-hmm.
So the consequence of him becoming the nominee is going to be what happens to his Senate seat. Does he hold it or does he release it, allowing the governor to appoint a senator or hold a special election? I don't know the Ohio guidelines or laws relating to that, but that sets up an interesting scenario in the Senate. As for Vance himself, for me, it's a wait and see, because the bottom line is Trump picked him. So the key is, what does Trump have in mind for him? Then secondarily, in my mind, is what comes in after, if they're looking at him as the heir apparent or just a Scaramucci model that a whole new team comes in 2028. But to me, the choice now, it's an aspect of wait and see, because I want to see what he gets on point, what he puts him on point to do. With all the issues, and sorry, I did a pregnant pause there. With all the issues that are facing the country, all the things that have to be undone, and the things that have to be done, Trump by himself behind the Resolute, in my opinion, cannot do it all. He's going to have to appoint, call him czar, call him the tip of the spear on the subject, whatever the case may be. This is my take. As a CEO, that's what he does the senior VPs to do. That's why he's got his sons and his daughter. That's how he's going to run. Sorry, go ahead.
So as far as what happens at Senate seat, Luann V says Ohio Governor DeWine appoints somebody. I don't know if they do that or a special election. I'm guessing I thought that's how it worked, was the governor would
Well, it depends. Some states have laws depending on the amount of time that transpires. Right? Like how close are you to an election? Well, he just got a 6-year term. So he's nowhere near the end of his term. So again, I'm not saying that that's how Ohio works. I don't know. The choices are the governor appoints and or a special election is held, in the sense that the governor can appoint for the rest of the term. Some states, the governor appoints until the special election is held, and then that person takes over, because you're talking about, more than what? He's barely got 1 year in. January 23 to January 24, he's got 5 years left. 4.5 for sure, right?
But I've heard, I saw someone saying they want JD Vance in with a gold pill. Who was it? Kay Landry says now we need, sorry, not JD Vance, J.R. Majewski for Ohio Senator. I would love to see that. That's probably not going to happen, if we're just being honest with ourselves. As much as I do love J.R. Majewski, would love to see him in that seat. Realistically, he is way, way, way too anti-establishment to be considered as an appointment pick. That's for sure. And I don't know if the Republican machine would get behind him in a statewide race. I heard Vivek Ramaswamy is looking at potentially filling that seat one way or another, which would be kind of an interesting guy to have in there.
They need a strong Republican one way or the other, because you know who the counterpart is? Sherrod Brown.
What do you mean counterpart?
The other senator from Ohio is Sherrod Brown.
Is that a rhino, I'm guessing?
No. He's Biden's suck egg mule when it comes to the border. He's totally pro open borders and that kind of shit. He is a total.
Yeah, that guy's not going to survive another election then out of Ohio. He's definitely going to be voted out, I feel like, whenever
I hope so, but I'm saying for now, that's where it comes in, that the appointment has to be a balance because it'll make Sherrod Brown the senior, although he already is the senior senator from Ohio.
Right. So, I agree.
There are a lot of interesting moves with this, right?
Absolutely. So, anyway, I'm happy with the pick, I guess, is the high level.
How about the word content?
Yeah, no, I'm content. I think, again, I look at the message it sends at this moment more than the man himself, if that makes sense. I know that he was probably the least favorite choice of the people that I don't trust, if that makes sense. I know that like Marco Rubio or Doug Burgum or Tim Scott, I know that they've all been around for a long time. The lobbyists and corporate hooks are into those guys. They're friendly with the Mitch McConnell types of the world. And I know that those are the guys that most likely, the Fox Newsers are pushing for. I know JD Vance is someone that scares them a little bit. So the fact that Donald Trump went with JD Vance as opposed to one of those guys that would have appeased the establishment end of the party, to me at least, it sends a message, regardless of how much you trust JD Vance individually as a person. The message it sends from Donald Trump, I think, is the most significant thing at this moment, as far as the direction of the party and the future of the party going forward. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it, is more of a signal than an endorsement of JD Vance himself. And I like the signal that it sends. So with that, one of the big criticisms about JD is that he was a never Trumper. I want to play this clip from the primary debate for Senate because I think it kind of explains the evolution of his mindset here. And again, you could take it with a grain of salt or believe him. That's up to you. But I feel like it should be played.
Invoked his name already tonight. We're going to ask each of you about your views on former President Trump. But Mr. Vance, we do begin with you. You've admitted you've changed your mind on Donald Trump, but in the past you've said, quote, I'm a never Trump guy, quote, my God, what an idiot, and quote, God wants better of us. All statements you have either said or tweeted about Donald Trump at some point. The question, you have 60 seconds. Why should Trump voters, Trump supporters, vote for you?
Yeah, look, I mean, all of us say stupid things, and I happen to say stupid things very publicly. I've been very public about the fact that I voted for the president in 2020, that I was wrong about the president back in 2015, 2016, and that he's been the greatest president of my lifetime for the very simple reason. There are many, but one very important reason is that he revealed the corruption in Washington, D.C. I mean, who would have believed 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that the FBI would actually investigate illegally, get an illegal wiretap on a sitting U.S. presidential candidate. We saw that. Trump revealed it, and he revealed it in a way that showed us the stakes of the fight, which is why I'm running for this office in the first place. One thing I'd point out is that I was just north of 30 years old when I said a lot of those things. A lot's changed in my life. I re-engaged with my faith. I got baptized 3 years ago. I've had 3 kids since then. A lot's different. And one of the things that's different is that I did change my mind about Donald Trump. He was a great president. And I think at the end of the day, one of the things this race presents is an opportunity. Who actually agrees with Trump on the core issues of trade, of immigration? Who's willing to fight for an America First foreign policy? I think that's clearly me. Thank you.
So what I like about that is I can relate to it. Those of you that have been following my broadcast long enough, those of you that were with me, from the PSB days before I even started my own channel, I've openly said many times that I didn't vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I didn't vote at all. I just thought that he was another political puppet. The whole thing was a scam. My whole thing was don't legitimize an illegitimate system was my mindset back then by participating in it. It was foolish. I was much younger. And that's what I said back then. And after seeing Donald Trump in office and watching things unfold, my views changed. And, here I am today. So I can relate to JD Vance and at least put myself in his shoes when he's saying those things, because I wasn't always, behind the MAGA movement or a fan of Donald Trump myself, so that people do evolve, people do learn, people do see things, people do wake up, change their viewpoints. And I think that we should all have the freedom to do that. And something that you said 10 years ago, while you have to own that, admit that you said it, but you should also be given the room to change your opinions and stand by those changes and be able to move past them after a certain point. So I'm not gonna hold comments that JD Vance made, however long ago, 8-9 years ago, against him today. I'm gonna look at stuff that he has done and said more recently, because I think it's more relevant than off the hand comments that he might have made. So that's just my thoughts on that whole situation, because I was in the exact same shoes. I didn't always look at Donald Trump as a favorable character myself. And again, I've been very open about that from the very beginning of doing this. So it shouldn't come as a surprise to many of you. Any of you guys have thoughts on that clip before I go to another one?
No, I mean that answers. Just as a comment, it answers the skepticism, I guess, because of that, of his earlier comments. There were a lot of people that were making negative comments about Trump when he first came out of the chute.
It wasn't clear what his intentions truly were to a lot of people.
Well, he had the good. Well, here's the thing: he had the good rhetoric. You have to admit, in the style, if you will, that was refreshing to a politician, from a politician.
Mm-hmm.
So he was, in a way, Kennedy-esque. I'll make this analogy. Kennedy was to the establishment back then the young, hip, different than they. Trump, even though he's not necessarily young, he's pretty much street hip, blue collar street hip, and he's a billionaire. So he's basically had the coverage, and a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people were doubtful because what's in it for him? You know, they were looking at it. He's not in it for the country. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people changed their mind. Shortly, some longer than others, some of them pretty quickly when he started taking the actions that he did. Of prominent names, one of them is Glenn Beck. In 2016, he was pro Cruz, and he was not thrilled with Trump at all. But once Trump got into office, and Beck has said it himself, once Trump got into office and he saw what he was doing, he changed his mind.
Yeah.
So, not unique. I mean, I'm not diminishing your point. I'm saying there are a lot of people that are Trump supporters now that are in the same boat, or
Yeah,
were in the same boat.
I think we should embrace those people that have changed their mind based on what they've seen. You know, we
Yeah.
sit there, we call the left suck egg mules because they're lost or they don't see it, and then we give people that do see it a hard time because of previous opinions they held a long time ago. It makes no sense. You know what I
And
mean?
you're not going to do a full conversion of people in all topics all at
Right.
once. It's just not the way it works.
And everybody has their own opinions too. There are things you agree with and things you don't agree with,
Yeah.
right? And that's the thing. But kind of funny that here we are, right? And the way things are going about it. Here's a guy that presumably awakened.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's an aspect of questioning his awakening. I mean, the same thing, and I know I'm going to catch flack for this, but I posted a couple of things in our group that Tulsi Gabbard said. She's saying exactly what we're saying, right? She's blaming she berated the Secret Service and all that. Now you can think of her motives, you can make up her motives, but she said what she said.
Yeah.
So there's, everybody has an epiphany at one point or another.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We should embrace people that have that epiphany and not continue to dog on them because of things they said a long time ago. Again, that's not productive.
I mean, like, keep a track record, right?
Yeah.
Just because someone says something nice one time or it has but as far as writing off people, I don't, that's just not the way I operate.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I'm thankful there was no.
Keith Olbermann, I'm writing him up. Let me rephrase it. There are exceptions, I think, that I will.
He's just absolutely nuts.
It's dangerous nuts. It is because if you go to the comments on a lot of these people's videos, so if you go to like Jesse Dollemore or Keith Olbermann or any of the Midas Touch stuff, these people, they are 100% sold that what they're being told is accurate and true.
Yeah.
And that's scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing it. Look at all the people gleeful or that were upset that Trump survived.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, vehemently upset. I mean, pathologically upset.
I mean, and then they want to say that we're dehumanizing, or Trump's using dehumanizing like Hitler or whatever. It's like, no, when your people react that way, and if anything, I don't know, what's the most recent thing on the left or that you didn't see any sort of anybody rubbing anything in from the right? What would be the last thing? It's hard to think about, or was there any recent tragedy or anything you could think of that befell the left that the right is just?
Not that I could think of. Off the
I
top
mean,
of
I
my
guess
head.
the only thing I can even think of that they would say would be the Pelosi thing. But the problem with that is that they withheld information, thus causing speculation, which didn't need to be.
There was
But
that.
even that, you didn't have the rioting, the looting, the destruction.
Yeah, you don't have that.
No, you don't
point.
have that
Yeah. I mean, I saw.
on any issue.
I was probably one of them. Like when Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, like I didn't, I wasn't. I saw a lot of people, maybe even including myself, like posting a lot of the horrible shit she believed in, and like not necessarily being super sympathetic, but
No, that's
no one was wishing harm, or no one
right.
was, you know what I mean, like,
You
or
weren't calling for the death of her family because of her rulings.
no, I
These
wasn't
people are
calling
calling
anyone
for
out.
the death of the entire Trump family because of Donald.
Right. Right. No, absolutely. All right, I want to play another clip here. Here's Tucker Carlson speaking about the selection of JD Vance. I thought this was pretty powerful.
Also, I don't know if you noticed at the convention, he was sitting right next to, so he had Vance on one side of Trump and Tucker on the other side.
Yeah, I did see that.
JD Vance is the VP pick, and I think every person who pays close attention has got to be thrilled by that. And if you don't know much about JD Vance, I'm not even going to make a case for JD Vance. I'm going to tell you what I just saw, which is that every bad person I've ever met in a lifetime in Washington was aligned against JD Vance. And I do think the negative case is often more powerful, because I know of myself, I do not think I'm a particularly good person. I have strong reasons for feeling that way. I don't always think that my side is right. I know for a fact I have been wrong many, many times. And I hope to correct and be honest about my error. So it's not like I think that, I'm always, God's always on my side. Sometimes I'm not on God's side. But I definitely know who's representing the other side. It's a lot easier to tell who the people who are only in it because they like, killing other people in pointless wars. Like, I know who those people are. And their odor is so powerful that I can smell one when he walks in the room. And every single one of those people in a line that would extend from Milwaukee to Chicago was lined up over the last week to knife J.D. Vance. Not on personal grounds. He's a perfectly nice guy. He's like one of the only members of the Senate with a happy marriage. True. But because they thought he would be harder to manipulate and slightly less enthusiastic about killing people. That's it. That he would be an impediment to their exercising power. And boy, they went after him in a way I've just kind of never seen. Which I think happens every day in Washington. I just don't have a vantage on it because I'm far, far away and grateful to be. And again, I was just reminded that this process is so ugly that normal people do not want to participate in it. And yet normal people have to suck it up and do so anyway because the consequences are just so profound and so very serious.
I think that's pretty telling. I mean, Tucker Carlson has more access and more time around these Washington swamp rats than any of us do. And
So he's hated by the rats of every letter.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
puts him as a plus to begin with.
Yeah, and I think that the anti-war thing is such a huge deal, right? Because as such a driver of so many things when it comes to politics, like the foreign policy and the war, there's so much money and power that comes from war. It's typically war is, an excuse to slowly start chipping away at your rights and your freedoms, your liberties. Like war is, essentially a giant human sacrifice by these what I think are satanic leaders, these people in the cabal, so to speak. And I think Tucker Carlson nailed it right on the head when he says, like, all the war hawks lining up from Chicago to Milwaukee to knife him over the past week. Trump is an anti-war guy. JD Vance would appear to be an anti-war guy. Many in Washington, D.C. have their hands in that military industrial complex cookie jar. And voices like Donald Trump, voices like JD Vance, and anyone that wants peace are extremely unpopular. And while they're not going to come out and make that the issue on the face of things, That's 100% what's driving so much of this. You think about Donald Trump and the attempted assassination against him. Let's face it, like that's likely because he's going to create less war if he gets into office. There's going to be less death. There's going to be less bombs purchased, less ammunition purchased, less weapons purchased and used around the world, less money being shoved into the pockets of these defense contractors and all those who profit and benefit from the mindless death of tens of hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people when these things pop off. And to me, it speaks to something so much like deeper and so much I don't know, I don't want to say spiritual in a way, but there's something about the pick of JD Vance that I think really strikes at the heart of everything wrong with Washington D.C. and its connections and infiltration by the military-industrial complex. And I really look at this pick as a signal to all of those who have been wielding the power and manipulating the conversation and manufacturing the consent for wars and the support of these foreign wars, that there's a change coming. There's a change coming in the way that we're about to start doing business. And we're no longer going to be empowering those forces to continue this evil across the globe, from this country. And I don't know. I look at it as a, like I said, very, very strong and powerful moment going forward. And Tucker Carlson there, again, he has more access to these people than I ever will. And if that's what he's saying, that to me is extremely positive and encouraging. So, do you guys have any other thoughts on that?
Not I.
All right. Here is
Elon Musk is moving his SpaceX and X headquarters to Austin. Or he's moving X headquarters to Austin, so he's moving out of California.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Here is the Biden-Harris campaign response to JD Vance. Quote, as Trump's running mate, Vance will make it his mission to enact Trump's Project 2025 agenda at the expense of American families. This is someone who supports banning abortion nationwide while criticizing exceptions for rape and incest survivors, rallied against the Affordable Care Act, including its protections for millions with pre-existing conditions, and has admitted he wouldn't have certified the free and fair election in 2020. Billionaires.
Is there any sort of federal election issue with them saying that because he's completely renounced Project 2025, so how can they say that's his policy?
And he's said that there will be no abortion ban from a national perspective either. And so is JD Vance. They just lie.
Do they just say because he wants to do this as opposed to he is planning to do this, or this is his position? They can just get away with it because it's just like they keep it as like sort of ambiguous. Look, I'm all for free speech and all that, but as far as like,
well, this is
defamation. I feel like how do you combat actual defamation?
Look at the words they used. Someone who supports banning abortion nationwide. Let's support. The word there is careful. Support. You can support it, but not necessarily enact it as a law, because you don't agree with it as a law. But you can agree with the principle.
Yeah, they're slimy and slippery in the way they use
exactly.
Things. Yeah,
that's how I read it. The focus on that one word, supports, because it's an ambiguous word.
Right. If a guy's pro-life, you could say he supports it, but not necessarily would do anything about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's not. Let's say if he believes in the Constitution, then he believes and I do believe this is his platform, that it's a state issue.
It is, and here's the one that says Vance will make it his mission to enact Trump's Project 2025 agenda. If anything, that's more of the defamation, because Donald Trump.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because that's actually
that's a lie.
Yeah, that's just a flat out lie.
Because if you look at Trump's agenda, it's quite clear the 20 points. It's been published.
Yeah, and it's not. It's Agenda 47, not
Yeah.
2025. Anyway, they continue. Billionaires and corporations are literally rooting for JD Vance. They know he and Trump will cut their taxes and send prices skyrocketing for everyone else. Yeah, because that's what happened last time they cut corporate taxes. Is all the prices went up. What a fucking joke. Over the next 3.5 months, we will spend every single day making the case between the two starkly contrasting visions America will choose between at the ballot box this November. The Biden-Harris ticket, who's focused on uniting the country, creating opportunity for everyone, and lowering costs, or Trump-Vance, whose harmful agenda will take away Americans' rights, hurt the middle class, and make life more expensive, all while benefiting the ultra-rich and greedy corporations. So that is the Biden-Harris.
Notice that the first ones is fluff, not tangible.
Mm-hmm.
What they're saying they're going to do, it's not tangible.
Right.
And then you look at Trump's 20 points and the Agenda 47, which is now it's the Republican platform, right? The 20 points there. There's a couple of them that are kind of fluff, if you will, right?
Uh-huh.
But the other ones are very much commitments. Not, I'm going to make your life happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, there's very little behind their words always.
No. And then when you think of compare, now here's the interesting thing. Vance doesn't have a record to compare against
Mm-hmm.
in the Senate because he's only been there a year. So the question is going to be to compare him with Harris from a perspective of head to head. There's a lot of negatives about her, but he doesn't have a record to compare against. So you really have to capitalize, in my opinion, on the assignments that she's gotten and where are they now. Right? She was the border czarina. Well, look at the border. Shit. Right?
I can't wait for the Vance Kamala debate. That's gonna be one for the ages.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
You think Biden got his doors blown off by Donald Trump? And
The cackle-a-thon.
Yeah, cackling Kamala. All right, I want to play 2 more clips.
They'll try to bore him to death by talking about the significant passage of time.
Yeah, right.
Yes. While you're on a yellow school bus.
I want to play 2 clips here from Van Jones reacting to this before we go to our break. On the other side of the break, we'll talk about the case being dismissed, the classified documents case being dismissed, and then I've got a whole lot more on the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Very interesting conversation between Corey Mills, Representative Corey Mills, and a CNN anchor on the intentional nature of it that we got to watch, and a bunch of other stuff. So you're not going to want to miss hour number 2. Start heading over to pilled.net where that'll be exclusively available. The link is in the Rumble description underneath the chat. I'll throw it in the live chats as well over on DLive and Rumble, or go to pilled.net and find us at 412 Productions. Hour number 2 is going to be fire, so don't miss it, guys. But first, let's listen to a little bit more reaction here. All right, let's do this one first.
If you're hoping that after this near-death experience, we're going to have a kumbaya convention, this is not a kumbaya pit. And so this would signal that Donald Trump is planning on doing a lot of hard governing. He's got somebody in there who's a pit bull. He's an attack dog. He went to law school. He's going to be in there making a whole bunch of stuff happen. So if you're worried about the Project 2025 and all type of stuff, this is a guy that's going to really keep you up at night. If J.D. Vance is next in line, either now or later, you're talking about a hardening of the Republican Party around a MAGA agenda with a very capable guy that does scare the crap out of a lot of Democrats. And so this is not going to be a kumbaya convention if he's a pit.
All right, so there's that, and then this one.
Scaring the crap. You mean compliance?
You know, part of the reason that J.D. Vance matters isn't for these kind of short-term electoral calculations. He matters because of what he means to the Republican Party long-term. This is cementing a kind of nationalism. Yeah. Now, Trump, to your point, I agree with you. He's an instinctive, impulsive, intuitive nationalist. J.D. Vance is an ideological nationalist. That's a much more dangerous virus because he can polish this stuff and make it seem palatable to people. He can sell this stuff to Silicon Valley. He can sell this stuff other places. And what it does is it locks the Republican Party on a pathway that I think is dangerous for the world. Again, the Ukrainians are now in deep trouble. NATO is now in deep trouble. Trump he could have gone with a Nikki Haley and signaled to the world, hey, listen, I got to give stuff to my base, but I'm not going to abandon the world. This pick is a horror on the world stage. So J.D. Vance matters because Donald Trump is pointing the Republican Party in a very scary direction for the long term.
I love it.
In a pro-America, very scary direction. Notice the spin on what nationalism means.
Mm-hmm.
That was a backhanded way of Nazism. Because
Yep.
that's what Nazism was, nationalist.
Yeah.
So he's one to watch. He's one because he's very polished. He's an Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he also, I feel like I like listening to Van Jones, not because I ever agree with anything that he says, but I feel like he I disagree with the way he presents things, but like he and I said the same thing. We just have different views on what it means for the world, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, I was with him when he said he's going to come in and do some hard governance until he then flipped it to use Project 2025 and even Project 2025. They're talking about bringing in basically way more conservative people into the federal government to minimize the government. Period. That's what Project 2025 is all about. Now, are there some of their views and some of the positions extreme, if you will, from a perspective of the right paradigm? Yeah. Crazy? No. Harsh? Maybe. Necessary? Huh. We've talked about worse or more needed, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
sorry, go ahead.
His delivery, I feel like he's being honest. Yeah, I think we disagree with what he says and maybe the way he interprets it, but I think the way he delivers, I can tell he's being authentically himself. In the way that you can tell others are deceivers.
Oh yeah. He believes this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We have to go to a quick break, and then we're going to come back on the other side exclusively on pilled.net. So again, the link is in the Rumble and DLive live chats. It's in the Rumble description underneath the chat. If you can't get to the link for whatever reason, simply go to pilled.net. Find us at 412 Productions. It's not hard. All the live channels, you can see thumbnails for them on the left-hand side of the screen on desktop. They're up top on mobile. We are that black and gold thumbnail, or just search for 412 Productions will pop right up. So we're going to take a 60-second break here. We're going to come back, officially say goodbye to the other platforms. We'll read your gold pills on the other side, and then we're going to get into the dismissal of the documents case. Judge Aileen Cannon has dismissed the classified documents case against Donald Trump. We'll get into that and what it means, what's going to happen after, and maybe get into some of the other charges against Donald Trump too, and where they stand. After that, we'll talk more about the attempted assassination, more fallout and conversation around that as well. So packed second half, don't miss it. Get over to pilled.net, the home of free speech, for hour number 2. We'll be right back.
Pilled.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pilled.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pilled.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pilled.net. Free speech lives here.
We'll be back in a couple
All right, we are back. Thank you to everyone who has popped over from our other platforms to continue hanging out with us this afternoon over on pilled.net. If you're not going to jump over, no worries. We'll be back at 4 p.m. tomorrow. I believe we're going to have Craig Mason of Reasonable TV joining us in the second half of tomorrow's show. So we look forward to hosting Mr. Reasonable Craig Mason. So make sure you tune in to that. Otherwise, yeah, you guys over on the other platforms, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and hope to see you over on pilled.net for hour number 2. All right, let's shut these other ones down. Here we go.